Well, drones have been in the news a lot lately, and in this video, we're not going to talk about the strange drones that have been popping up in New Jersey and other places, but we are talking about drones in the entertainment sphere. More specifically, you talk about theme parks. Obviously, a lot more shows are incorporating drones. Universal Studios Sensational has a drone aspect to that show, which is very good. And then Disney obviously had their drone show at Disney Springs, and there's lots of rumors or speculation that they will be bringing parts, if not that entire show, somewhere into Disney World, perhaps over to Animal Kingdom. And of course, we have the drone testing in Epic Universe, where they're testing the drones that look like dragons flying through the air, and there's likely to be some drone aspects to Epic Universe. But there is some danger when it comes to drones, and something unfortunately happened in Orlando last night during a drone show, and we're going to read through this article and I'll watch a little video here and get some thoughts on it here. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic. And the story is that drones fall from sky during Orlando Holiday Light Show, unfortunately leaving one young boy hospitalized. It says a Florida holiday drone show took a tragic turn when more than a dozen of the aircrafts fell from the sky, leaving a child injured. The apparent mishap took place Saturday night in downtown Orlando. Said at about 6:45 p.m. the drones collided, the FAA reported, and fell into a crowd during the show. Two performances were scheduled that day, the second of which was canceled due to technical difficulties. Like I said, a little boy was injured. There's been different reports I've seen. I do know that there was a 7-year-old boy that was hospitalized, which is terrible. I couldn't imagine having a child around that age, like going to a show like this and having something like this happen, especially on Christmas. And, hopefully, thoughts and prayers, hopefully he is okay. I don't know the specifics there. All we do know is he was hospitalized. But there's been different reports about, like, the severity of the injuries and things like that. So I'm not going to speculate on that on this video. Now, the FAA has said there are rules for drone shows, which we talked about before, but according to the FAA, drone arrays and light shows are subject to FAA regulations and typically require a waiver to a regulation that prohibits operating them more than one drone at a time. We thoroughly review each drone show application to make sure the flying public and people on the ground will be safe, an FAA spokesperson said. The agency also reviews other items, including software controlling the drones, procedures in setting up restricted areas to keep people safe or a safe distance from the show, procedures in the event any drone malfunctions, procedures in an aircraft that gets too close to the show, and whether operators have an adequate number of people to run the show. They're currently investigating the cause of this, and then here we'll watch a little bit. There's a clip here of what this looked like when it happened.
Back to that breaking news, drones literally falling right out of the sky tonight during a holiday light show at Lake Eola. This happened during the 6:30 p.m. show, and after that, the city canceled their 8 p.m. viewing. West News' Tony Atkins is joining us live from downtown tonight. Tony, the FAA says they're getting involved. What's the latest?
Well, the city just confirmed that the FAA is trying to figure out what exactly happened with these drones. But imagine being right here in this very spot here on Lake Eola and those drones. This is the area where you can see in the video those drones came crashing down. Now, I want to show you here because when we made it, we saw there was some crime scene tape up here as police sectioned this off because there was literally a drone right here that fell from the sky. So some very scary moments. I want to get to that video and show you exactly what we saw earlier tonight.
That's a lot of drones falling
from the sky, and we did reach out to the city to see if there were any injuries. Orlando Fire said one person was taken to a hospital.
I mean, you can see there, like, that's not a big drone, and that's the thing about these that's dangerous is some of these drones, obviously you see some that are really, really big. Even these small ones like this, like you look at, there's actually sadly, there's a toy car right next to it where a child was probably, and they're not big, they're probably not very heavy, but you're talking about an object falling out of the sky, it immediately becomes deadly if it's going to hit you, hit somebody, and hopefully the boy that was hit here is fine and he recovers. But, these things are dangerous if they do fall like that. So I think definitely, it seems to me, they're near a body of water. I'm wondering if there was just a malfunction of them doing this over land there, because again, these are not supposed to operate over large groups of people for sure.
With minor injuries, but it's unclear at this point, based on what we're getting from the city, it's unclear to determine if that injury is related to those falling drones. Again, when we made it here, we saw the drones on the ground, including one being placed in an evidence bag. We talked to a number of people out here, hundreds of people here at Lake Eola to take in those lights. Many of them came to see that holiday drone show. Many of them disappointed, but trying to make the most of a situation here.
I bet they left pretty
Before they
quick.
left, we did have a chance to speak with someone who said they were a vice president with the company. They send their sympathies to the families, and right now they're trying to figure out exactly what happened with those drones there in the sky. I'm covering Orange County live at Lake.
That may have been, on site or whatever, that segment before they knew about the injuries to the boy, because it seemed like that was something they didn't maybe know at the time. But I would imagine there's going to be some lawsuits out of this, or at least one, if somebody was injured by this. But yes, it's one of those things. I mean, again, when you're talking about Disney and Universal, I think they're going to go the extra mile in terms of, safety protocols when it comes to these drone shows, because you can imagine, I don't know who put this on. It might have been the city of Orlando. It was a park or something like that. But, Disney and Universal have a lot more to lose if somebody gets hurt in a theme park from a falling drone. So I definitely think they'll take safer precautions, probably have, higher tech stuff. Like I said, those drones looked very small. I don't know in terms of how cheap those are in terms of quality compared to ones that are used in the other shows, but it is something that can happen. I do wonder if it makes Disney or Universal a little bit more apprehensive on some level to do this, because again, it's one of those things. It's a cool show, and you look at some of these drone shows out here. They look, the technology in the last few years has come a long ways. These shows look amazing, and the Sensational show that is over in Universal Studios is a really cool aspect of that show, and it really does give it an extra little element to the show, and I really enjoy it. But I imagine either way, if they're still going forward with these, that they are going to, even do more due diligence here in terms of the safety end of things and making sure that these things are not over people. And these things are run by programs. These don't have these types of drones. They run a bunch of pilots there, so these things are on some sort of program there. So something could have gone awry with that. But, either way, it's, again, thoughts and prayers out to the little boy here. Hopefully he recovers fully, and glad that nobody else was hurt, as that could have been really bad. In that video, it looked like there were multiple, many drones falling. So something catastrophic happened in terms of what was supposed to happen with that show, what ended up happening here. But hopefully, this issue gets fixed. Obviously, I think drone technology is still newer, so there's going to be lots of hiccups with these things from time to time. A lot of them are pretty cheap in terms of, they may break down pretty quick. But, with Universal and Disney doing these, I do believe, even though I have my qualms with Disney's cost cutting and things like that, I think that, they do take safety very seriously and would, do their due diligence. I'm sure Universal does the same thing as well to make sure these things are safe. And I suppose if you're around a drone show, for me personally, I've always felt this way. If I was around a drone show and it was above me, I would move, just because I've always been worried about those things in terms of falling out of the sky. So I suppose if there is a drone show around you, be mindful of what's above you. And, if something starts falling, make yourself as small as possible to be a smaller target there, so it doesn't hit you in the head or something like that. But either way, not a great scene here. Hopefully this is just a one-off incident and we don't see more of these, but I don't think it's probably going to stop the drone usage in shows, because it is cool to see. It's just hopefully the safety precautions are, kept up, increased, and that people are safe while watching these. But either way, that's going to be it though for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about these drone shows, and do you think they're too dangerous to use in theme parks? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.